Going back to the Tropicana site, and I understand your point earlier, it's not tangible to Las Vegans yet, but when the Trop comes down, if that's the case, summer of next year, yeah, then maybe it becomes a little bit more real. On that note, I know you've been to that hotel, I'm sure many of times. You've lived in Las Vegas for a while, but I also know you've recently visited the site just to really get a grasp and a lay of the land all over again. I don't know if you've walked all nine acres of that parking lot, but can you visualize it when you're there, when you've been there recently, what they want to do?
Yeah, I walk the site and I just slowly troll it's the east side and the south side it's the southeast quadrant of that site roughly.
Right.
And, as I'm walking, I'm just walking my bicycle or just slowly, pedaling in that corner of that 36-acre overall location. I gotta say, it's hard to imagine a Major League Baseball stadium with a retractable roof shoehorned into that southeast quadrant of the site. And, if you look at a lot of the drawings, and granted, I think the franchise said the drawings really don't have anything to do with reality,
That's
but,
correct.
a lot of the drawings show how the stadium really spills across the entire corner there of Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard. So it will obviously be a very, very tight squeeze. And the one thing they do have going for it is that the land surrounding that quadrant of the site, I think Reno Avenue might be on the south side,
Yes.
and there's some land behind it. There is, it's not built up, it's not super dense back there, so they, will probably have to rent or use some of the land as a staging area for the equipment and such. But I'm going to be polite and just say it's going to be a very tight squeeze.
We're 1 month out, again, we think, from the earliest convenience that baseball could approve this. We don't have renderings. We don't have financing details. This team doesn't know where it's going to play for 2025, 2026, and 2027. But we've also seen how the A's operated with the Nevada legislature in May and June of this year, and they really took things to the last minute. They kind of forced the issue a little bit to go to the special session so that legislators could approve the public money. Do you really see this coming down to everything coming out, details, design, blueprints? We've selected a designer all last minute, and then it could all be approved, and Las Vegas is good with that?
Probably. And the answer to me, in my mind, is yes, because we have a track record. The track record is Las Vegas and Clark County and the state of Nevada and this market. It behaves as an outlier market, Brody. I mean,
Yeah.
I've covered stadium and arena public-private deals in several different markets now, and this is not how it's typically done. And I've reached a point, especially after witnessing how the state legislature handled this particular bill and proposal, is that it's just running and gunning, and they're just going to do it their own way. There is no protocol. It's not what you would even quote unquote say traditional or even dare say good government behavior. It's going to be kind of a run and gun style, wing it on the fly style. And Las Vegas apparently is content with that. And when I say Las Vegas, I mean pretty much the people. In a lot of big markets, you would typically see some kind of taxpayer watchdog organization, and there are a couple statewide groups here in Nevada, but you know you would see some, I would say, outrage or disagreement besides just the isolated voices you hear sometimes about the whole concept of subsidizing stadiums for very rich team owners. I mean, you have just some people who are just basically against that, and we heard some from those people during the debate. But the bottom line is you had some of those powerful unions here in favor.
Right.
You had the laborers union in favor, and you had the culinary union in favor. So
Right.
they combined forces with Democrats at the state legislature, and that was pretty much the done deal. I mean, that was That's typical behavior you don't see in a lot of different markets. But like I said, in answer to your question, Brody, Las Vegas is an outlier market, and
Hmm.
I've learned the hard way as a journalist. Journalists, we look at how things are traditionally done and
Right.
supposed to be done, and we
Right.
look at the protocol. And, I don't think it was necessarily done in this particular case, especially the speed in which the legislature approved the deal. But our friend Jeremy Aguero had, I thought, the classic line of the entire legislative session when he told a lawmaker that, yeah, you're right, that, it doesn't make economic sense in every other market except Las Vegas. And that
Right.
was his whole point, that Las Vegas is just its own unique animal, and things are going to be done in this town that are not going to be typical that you see around the country in different markets.